The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
We have Mike from Chicago on the line, and he has a question about digestion.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, guys. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
First of all, I just wanted to say that I love the show. I think it's great programming, and I'm very much of a like mind when it comes to, taking control of your own health and certainly doing your own research.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico Haan and Paige Clarke.
Good morning, I'm Nico Haan. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, wild world.
To recover our natural health and freedoms. I'm Paige Clarke.
Yeah, it's a beautiful morning here in downtown Clearwater. A little overcast, but 48 degrees, nice and crisp out here. It's going to be another beautiful day. We're going to get some rain this evening and probably tomorrow, and then back to sunshine for the weekend, so that's kind of nice.
That's what I like to hear. Yep. If you have any questions, you can reach us. You can reach me at Paige@TFNN.com.
Yeah, you can reach me at Nico@TFNN.com, and of course, if you have any questions and any topics you want us to discuss on this health and fitness show, we're taking your phone calls at 877-927-6648. So Paige, on Tuesday, I left here, went to personal training, did that for a few hours, went to do some jiu-jitsu, which was great. And I got home. I turn on CNN a lot of times just right before they switch over to the main thing, catching the little blurps that they have. And to my astonishment, they were talking about the food industry, and they had a nice tour of these pig farms and all these different places where, they're really talking about what are the animals eating. And this is something you and I talked about ad nauseum. That's the first step to health, is finding out where your food comes from and how your animals are being treated, what they're being fed, where everything is being grown. This is really a huge thing.
I mean, the impact of the food chain.
Yeah.
What the animals were eating, that the animals were eating, the animals were eating.
Yeah, you have
there's
to really
a compound effect.
No doubt about that. And it was it was a 3-minute thing, very well put together, and you'll be astonished what they actually are putting in the food. Of course, the whole thing was about how to fatten up these animals very quickly on less and less food.
So they can have more profit by turning more animals.
Yeah. And of course, conditions, when you look at this stuff, the conditions are horrible.
The food industry is vast. The U.S. spends a lot of money on food. We're talking $1.5 trillion a year, according to Bureau Economic Analysis.
Yeah.
That's an amazing number.
That means that everything about our food system is huge. Cornfields for miles, and really the foundation of our food in America is corn. So everything that you're eating has corn involved in some way, whether it's the fructose corn syrup, whether it's feeding the cattle and feeding the pigs corn starch.
There's a documentary called King Corn.
Okay.
Have you seen that?
I have not.
That's kind of interesting. It really kind of brings that whole issue to light, that really corn is kind of the basic for a lot of things. Literally, a lot of plastics are made out of corn.
Really?
Oh, yeah. So
Out of corn oil, I presume.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's kind of crazy. That might be something you want to put on your watching list, King Corn.
Yeah.
But, it has a fat wallet and lots of influence, too.
That's
the food industry is really kind of controlling a lot of where dollars are going and what people are doing.
The influence is huge, that's for sure. And so I think, I've always contended that we can take back most of our freedoms by beginning with the food, eating locally, eating seasonally, eating from great sources, which means you have to do your own investigation, folks. You're not going to find this at the local grocery store. You may not even find it at your local food market that is a natural food market.
Absolutely. I think this morning, too early, as we were getting up early, I sent an article. I don't know if we got to put it into the feed, about eggs. And
yes, I did.
And then we have a couple of links. Maybe we'll be able to hit those links.
We sure will.
So that we can share with you places you can go to start explore where in your area you can get foods that are raised humanely and correctly, and that way you're going to be healthier because you're going to be eating a healthier food to start.
Yeah, they've outlined things here. Of course, that the food industry is vast. That's number one. Number two is that the corn is the foundation of our food, that the industry has a fat wallet and lots of influence. But critics say there should be more food testing. And the FDA actually is stepping up and getting more measures in for that. It also says that the environment is not the main priority. And this is kind of what hit me. The aim of the food industry is having food at our fingertips available anytime, anywhere, but we use lots of resources to make that happen. Here's
a lot of the stuff about this going on in California, the droughts and so forth.
Exactly. California is facing a historic drought, but it's still very green in the San Luis Valley, called the salad bowl of America. Agriculture in the state uses 40% of the water supply, according to the Institute of California. And the industry is arguing that much of the water they use seeps back into the aquifer.
But the problem with that is that water seeps back in. What's in that water? There's tons of fertilizer. You know, the wine industry, tons of pesticides and fertilizers that are going back into the water aquifer.
Okay,
so what are we doing? Yeah.
Exactly. And the other thing is that it's not necessarily about your health.
No, it's not about your health. Americans spend less money on food than ever before, but yet they're spending more on health care. That's an interesting graph.
Yeah, I think it should be the other way around, folks.
Perhaps if maybe we should learn from that graph that if we spent more on food, we'd end up spending less on health care.
I think I have that graph up here.
You know, pictures are always worth 1,000 words.
Yeah.
You know, there you go.
There's the graph here. This is how much the food is the red and the health is the
blue. Yeah, the Oxfam Food Index ranks the U.S. high when it comes to food availability and affordability. You know, listen to this, 5 Raymonds for $1 or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's one of the worst in the world when it comes to diseases like diabetes and obesity.
Yes.
So we're not doing this right, folks.
Yeah, this graph is actually telling us that this is what we spend on food and this is what we're spending on health. And I contend that food is health.
I absolutely, that's my slogan too.
Yeah, so
totally agree with you.
If you turn that around, folks, and start spending a little bit more. But I also contend many times I've talked about that, you know, as we went through this journey, at first our food bill was a little bit higher because better quality food costs more. But as we go through this journey, after a couple of years, it started pretty much evening out. And I think actually we're saving money, especially on the health end of the spectrum, because I don't go to the doctor much at all. My wife goes for annual stuff that she does, but we certainly are not going to the doctor for our colds or our flu or getting flu shots and things like that. And all that stuff adds up. And if you're talking about prescription drugs, that's a huge amount of money. If you eliminate prescription drugs, and of course you need to be in vogue kind of with your doctor. You have to find out what drugs is completely necessary for you. But I notice most of my friends that I talk to are really talking about doing away with most of their drugs, slowly but surely.
Oh, yeah. So I was with a group of people last night, heard lots of testimony, people that I've been working with on different things, you know, integrating, you know, good whole foods for their core nutrition.
Yep.
And they're off of 2, 3, 4, 5 medications.
Yep.
And that's huge, folks. And, you know, but there are a lot of people that argue, well, my prescriptions don't cost me anything.
Well, that's true, but they cost you, they definitely do cost you.
They're costing us. Look at the screen here.
Exactly.
You know, we can see that they are costing us.
Yeah. Folks, you know, to get some of this information that you want to do your own digging, please pick up our Health Signals newsletter. It's very important that you get this information and start doing your own investigation. Also pick up some Primal Edge. Yes.
We'll see you after this short break.
The number here is 877-927-6664.
Who's up? Give us a call.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Hey, welcome back to Living a Primal Lifestyle. We're starting your day in a healthy way. You know, continuing on the subject that we were talking about, I want to make a comment. We had a comment in the chat room that Zital said, you could never get this job of yours distributed on NBC or CBS. You know, that's what we're here. We like this venue because we can share information that perhaps is censored out of mainstream news.
Certainly.
You know,
Yeah.
we think the truth needs to be heard, so here we are. You know, getting up early to share that with you. There was a kind of on the same line from what we were talking about last segment. Veterinary feed directive will protect both people and animals. This was in the FDA voice. You know, I think this is a great move. I've always said that you're best to see a veterinarian for your primary care because they know more about healing animals with just food.
Yeah.
But, you know, in recent years, the feed of these animals have been tainted with antimicrobials and contributed to this antibiotic resistance that we're experiencing. And, you know, Nico, what are your thoughts?
Well, you know, one of the things I noticed when I was watching the CNN report, the guy who was talking about what was in his feed for his pigs and his cattle, and they were putting it together right there. And he says, oh, here, and the medicine is being done in this other room, so they're scooping all this stuff. But what's in the main feed is not even their natural food. So, you know, they start out with a lot of corn-based things, but they also add in there things like if the cattle dies, they grind up the cattle and put that feed in there.
Yeah.
They do what they call fly protein. These are basically flies and insects that are ground up, put into that meal, and then they put blood in there. They mix a whole slurry of things, and these are all supposed to be healthy-based proteins that they're feeding the cows. I don't know too many cows out there eating insects, but I'm sure that a few insects get in their mouth and they chew on that. No big deal. But to have this purposely put in doesn't make sense to me. And then on top of it, then you're putting in all the antibiotics. And the question comes to mind, why do they need the antibiotics? Well, they need it because they're feeding them crap.
Literally.
Yeah.
And they're standing in it, too.
They're standing in it,
they're in these
pooping in it.
confined animal feeding operations. You know, antimicrobial resistance is everyone's problem, folks, as we've talked about it. That's why we're seeing things such as C. diff and MRSA infections in the hospitals.
Yeah.
It's like I said yesterday, I had a little speaking thing. You know, one of the worst things you can do is get sick, because then you go to the hospital and get really sick.
That's for sure.
You know?
We've heard many stories about that. The other thing that they were talking about is that most of the antibiotics that we get as human beings come from our food and not from going to the doctor and getting our shot. Or pills or whatever we get. So imagine this, folks. If you're eating the standard American diet, you're getting your prescription of drugs. You don't even know what kind of drugs. They're not really for you. They're for the animals that you're eating. And this is really part of what your nutrition-based FDA is giving you. However, so for the past few years, the FDA has been taking steps to fundamentally change how antimicrobials, I guess that's not...
Microbials.
Microbials, thank you very much, are legally used in food-producing animals. The agency is moving to eliminate the use of these drugs for production purposes, such as speeding weight gain, and bring the remaining therapeutic uses in feed and water under the supervision of a licensed veterinarians. These changes are critical into ensuring that these drugs are used, blah, 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 blah. What they're not telling you in this report, however, that most of these policies are not going to affect till 2025, so up to almost 10 years in the future. So we're, for the next 10 years, I guess they're saying, well, it's okay to eat this stuff, but 10 years from now, we have to take it away from you. That doesn't quite equate with me, I guess, just because...
We got to start making changes now, folks. And after this next article we read, we're going to give you a couple of links, a couple of places you can go to make sure you're getting animals that are free range, that are raised humanely, that are foraging, that are eating their native diet. But one thing I want to tell you, don't wash your chicken. You know?
That's a really important thing. You know, organic eggs are a lot of times not organic in your store.
Exactly. That kind of has a little bit of a sleight of hand when it comes to these eggs now.
So people are just mislabeling them? What's going on?
I think so. And, you know, they're taking advantage of the consumers' growing knowledge of the stuff that we're sharing with people. People are coming back and saying, well, are these pastured eggs? I saw something very interesting. The word is pastured, folks. We want pastured
Not
eggs.
pasteurized,
Meaning the chickens are out running around. But literally, there are egg companies that have a big sign on it that says pasteurized eggs. That's the last thing you want, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
you're going to sterilize the egg.
Yeah.
So you're going to kill it before you eat it.
Yeah, you're going to kill the enzymes that are also important for it.
Doesn't make
so
any sense.
that makes no sense to me either.
The other thing that's always bugged me about eggs is the veterinarian eggs. Or not
vegetarian
eggs, yeah.
Chickens, folks, are not vegetarians. They're carnivores. They run around, and the reason you see them pecking is they're getting little bugs and ants, and that's their main food.
And why would you want a egg that was from a chicken that only eats not its natural food? It doesn't make any sense. But who are they trying to attract?
The proof is in the yolk, right?
Who are they trying to attract here?
They're trying to convince a vegan or a vegetarian person maybe to eat this as a source of protein, you think?
Well, if you're a vegetarian, you eat vegetables.
Well, lacto vegetarians or
yeah, so there's a whole mix of people that eggs are okay.
Vegetarians. There's a lot of people that say I eat no animal food, I eat no meats, but I do eat eggs. You know, so that's called a lacto.
Because you're not killing the chicken, but you're killing the embryo of the chicken.
Right, but it's unfertilized usually, so you know, there you go.
So it's not going to be a chicken anyway.
Material.
I guess that's the justification. It's not going to be a chicken anyway, so it's okay.
Hey, but folks, you know, there's a lot of scary stuff going on in the world of the chickens. So try and seek out some farmers that you know, are raising their chickens so that they're free range and they're pecking and scratching and getting their nutrition.
So there are companies too, Paige, such as McDonald's, Nestle, General Motors are now demanding egg producers to convert to cage-free methods. It's worth noting that cage-free still does not mean the chickens were raised in ideal conditions. So,
well, many times, you know what that means?
What?
Is they allow them to have access for 5 minutes a day. Mm-hmm. They have a pen or something that they get to run out, and then they bring the other ones in. So anything that looks like it's produced, my personal opinion is you look for these ones that look like they're mass-produced or produced. You know, stray away from this. Better off to find. We've got such a great farmers market initiative. You know, networks of places where you can start to access these products that are raised more healthfully.
Yeah, I'd recommend people starting to look at some of the videos on YouTube about caged animals and just view it. I mean, it's not much different than a caged human being. I mean,
That's so true.
you can say, well, that the human being in that cage there is healthy, he's getting fed every day. It's got nothing to worry about. But we're taking a freedom away. This is a fundamental right that's in our Constitution even. But I think even beyond that, this is a kind of an understood right that human beings and animals have to be free to roam and to pick out their own food. And this is a right that's always been taken away from not only the animals, but folks from us. But because we can't roam where we want to roam anymore.
Well, maybe if we take a look at our animals, we can take a look at kind of what's happening to us.
It is very similar. It's kind of scary,
I have a
isn't
friend that, talks about that, how can we, mistreat animals when, look at what we're doing to animals. We're doing the same thing to ourselves and to other people.
And the way you can get more information, of course, is to sign up for the Health Signals newsletter. It's only $10 a month. $5 will get you 2 issues a month on the first and third Tuesday of every single month. And pick up some
Primal Edge, folks. We'll see you after the break.
You can use your discounted Tiger dollars to do this on TFNN website, and the number here is 877-927-6648.
You've heard Nico de Haan as co-host of Living a Primal Lifestyle, which airs every Friday at noon Eastern Time on TFNN, and would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Nico and Paige here on Living a Primal Lifestyle. Promise you some links where you can go to. The first thing is Western Price, which has lots of local chapters in most of the states, and they've got connections to buying clubs and all kinds of things, but the information there is fabulous.
Oh, it is fabulous. And the Local Harvest, this is a website that will help you find farmers market, family farms, and other sources that are sustainably grown food in your area.
There's also a Eat Well guide, wholesome food for healthy animals. This guide is free. It's an online directory where you can find these raised meats and poultry and dairies and eggs from all kinds of farms, stores, restaurants, and things like that.
Yeah, and then there's also Community Involved in Sustaining Agriculture, an acronym CISA. It's dedicated to sustaining agriculture and promoting the production of small farms. Website also called Food Routes. The food route Find Good Food is also a great resource. So that should help you folks. You know, I know many of you all are all around the country, and this could actually help you find things. Another, finally, is the Cornucopia Institute. It maintains web-based tools, rating all certified organic brands of eggs, dairy products, and other commodities. So it might be a good idea to check the brands that you're finding in your local health food stores.
Yep.
You know, Nico, we saw an article that said sense of purpose in life is good for your health. So those of us that are living life on purpose, we may very well have a longer life.
I think so.
And feel better and look better and
frame
all
of
those
mind
things.
is everything. It reads here, people who have a higher sense of purpose in life are at lower risk of death and cardiovascular disease. The death part I found interesting because, of course, mortality and death, that's from any cause. So just having
All-cause mortality,
yeah,
right?
all-cause mortality. So that means if you have a good frame of mind, if you're thinking positively, if you've got a life that you know it's a purpose, and we're really talking about people who are more my age. This survey was done for people 67 years was the average, 7 years going either way. And during this time, more than 14,500 participants died from any cause, while more than 4,000 suffered cardiovascular disease. It doesn't say how big the actual survey was on here.
You know, when you say that, I feel like this is something important. You know, when a lot of people retire, I think for men, this may be even more severe, they feel this loss of who they were, and could we say their purpose?
Yeah.
Even if that purpose is just to get up and go to work every day. And I know that my grandfather was a grocer, and he had a grocery store, and when he sold his grocery store, he actually plunged into pretty severe depression. In fact, attempted a suicide, we believe, you know, overdose of, you know, pills. Luckily, he was not successful, and we got to enjoy him, but he did have a heart attack a few years later.
Yeah, it's interesting because in the United States, we're kind of lucky. We have resources here when you're talking about getting Social Security and maybe you've saved for your future or you've got a 401k or whatever, and now you don't need the income. You start really pursuing some things that maybe were unattainable for you in your own work. So, you know, the public
Purpose doesn't have to be just making money. It can be for a cause.
And the example for myself is, of course, getting involved in jiu-jitsu was a huge thing for me. Doing this show, we're not making $1 million doing this.
No,
you know.
we're not, but we sure do think you guys are worth $1 million.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And also my personal training business, I've scaled that back to, you know, I'm not making much money there. But what is happening is I do have a real sense of purpose, and it's all towards health, not only mine, but other people's too.
You know, if you share information with one person whose life it may impact, then it was a day worthwhile. And, you know, I even think about the simple things like when I go into, say, Publix or the grocery stores here, I notice that a lot of senior citizens are working in those jobs. And I feel that although that might not be the most earth-shattering job, they're pleasant, and a lot of the senior citizens are out of the house. They're out of the house, they're doing some things, they're interacting with people, they're, you know, offering a smile. And, you know, so I think the key thing is to stay busy and stay plugged into life.
Yeah, and one of the
Staying
things...
plugged in.
Yeah, and on TFNN, of course, you people are traders out there, and that can be stressful, especially right now with the way the stock market's going. But it's a nice way. You can slow down as much as you want. You can speed up as much as you want. It's pretty cool. I know Paige and I are giving a talk on the, is it the 26th?
26th,
which is a Tuesday night, 6 p.m. at CC Riders in Dunedin, right on Main Street there. And we're giving a talk. Again, we're not making money on this, but this is passion that both Paige and I share, giving information to people about the food industry, about how you can actually get healthier by what you eat and not the drugs and the various other things that our society totes as meaningful. Last night, my wife, while I was having a sauna, was watching The Biggest Loser. And these people really don't have a purpose in life, but maybe by getting on a show, it gives them some purpose. But that's kind of a crazy show because it really gets you thinking how not to do things, I think. You know, they really punish these people physically as far as, you know, making them a slave to the treadmill and to all these stupid workouts that they do, when I contend always that the number one thing for losing weight has to be the food and not so much the exercise. Exercise will get you in shape, but you can be in shape at 300 pounds too. Look at John Belushi, was doing flips and everything like that, and he was 250 pounds or whatever he was. So people can really be in shape still being heavy. But if you want to control your weight, you do it by natural food, and all of a sudden you start normalizing what you should be, whatever that may be. Everybody's different.
Well, yes. The link, though, to chronic disease and obesity is huge, because obesity is the place that inflammation hides. And really at the core of illness, I believe, is inflammation. So I'm always looking for ways to help people lower their inflammatory situation in their body.
Yes.
And, you know...
Well, that's the number one thing that you have to do first, right?
Yeah, and I believe, quite frankly, that there's a lot of people we find the source of their... Really, it's the key is finding the source of stress in your body, and that may be a physical thing, or it may be an emotional thing.
Yeah.
And there can be a lot of people that stay chronically inflamed. You know, we talk about the stomach being inflamed, a lot of digestive issues, being, you know, irritated, the stomach irritated. Well, the emotion of being irritated, holding on to that emotion, that energy of irritation, presents itself and as irritation in the digestive tract.
Yeah, and I think what both of us learned over these last few years is really that digestion problems present themselves in many different ways. It can be through eruptions in the skin. It can be that you're not feeling quite right. It might be your kidney or your liver kind of talking back to you. Could be your stomach talking back to you. But it also could be that you're irritated, that you're highly stressed.
Stress always overlays everything. You don't have enough of what you do need. You have too many toxins that you don't need, and you have stress overlaying it all.
Of note, having a sense of purpose, a sense of life purpose has long been postulated to be an important dimension of life, providing people with a sense of vital motivation and resilience. Nevertheless, the medical implications of living with a high or low sense of purpose have only recently caught the attention of investigators. The current findings are important because they may open up new potential interventions for helping people to promote their health and sense of well-being. And I think that's what you and I are doing right here.
I think so too. And we have a quick question. Is cauliflower any good for the body? Absolutely, cauliflower is good for the body. Cauliflower is a cruciferous vegetable, and it has a lot of detoxifying sulfur-based compounds. So yes, and you know, you can make cauliflower into a substitution for mashed potatoes.
Let's talk about that when we come back, because I think that's an important thing. Please subscribe to Health Signals newsletter. Please pick up some Primal Edge, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And welcome back. We've been talking a lot about the kind of foods we want to stay away from, but let's talk about some that you want to include in your life.
Yeah.
Recent article, 18 foods that promote longevity.
Yeah, can I butt in here just a second? Because we were talking about the cauliflower.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, cauliflower, kale, all those types of cruciferous vegetables are great. Well, and broccoli, they all come from broccoli.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But a real good way of eating these things is having them soured or pickled or fermented in some way. So I would really, when you're going to, because remember the basis of our body is really good at digesting our animal fats and our animal proteins, not so much the vegetable proteins, and the vegetable fats are a little bit easier.
Yeah, we lack cellulase, which helps us break it down.
Yeah, and the carbohydrates are much harder for our body to assimilate. So what I'm saying is if you add these ancient methods that our ancestors used, you're going to do two things. First of all, make the vegetables easier to digest, and the second thing is promote really healthy bacteria for you. So that's one of those things.
That's a great tip, Nico, because the cruciferous vegetables raw can, in some cases, some people believe they may be goiterogenic, meaning that they kind of inhibit thyroid function. Some people agree with that, some people don't. Mm-hmm. So we're talking about those cruciferous vegetables raw. But so I like to recommend that you have them either as pickled, fermented, or slightly al dente, a little steamed to break down the cellulose fiber, make it easier for digestion. So yes, enjoy your cauliflower.
So when you start thinking about probiotics, prebiotics, remember this is to help us get the plant food digested properly. So, real important thing.
That is a good point.
But I do like this article. One of our most basic health principles is to eat real food, something Paige and I have been saying for many, many years. This will gradually reduce your exposure to the tens of thousands of chemicals added to processed food. So, it'll reduce your exposure. In other words, you need to find foods that don't have these things in it.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah, lower your toxic load. Getting the toxins out of your body by buying foods that have compounds inherent in them that actually help you to detoxify.
Yeah, and I thought this paragraph was really interesting. You might want to read this.
Yeah, many are still under the illusion that whole grains are good for you, folks. And again, when we talked about the labeling sleight of hand that's happening, whole grains today are not the whole grains that our grandmothers ate. And aside from perhaps some sprouted breads, many of these breads today and grains, pastas and so forth, are still industrial processed foods. But let's talk a little bit about these foods. And I'm going to start with the beverages.
Yes.
There's 4 beverages that promote longevity. You want to include these 4 beverages, singly or all of them into your diet because they do help you live a longer life. The first one being water. That is what our body has many cries for water. Most of us are chronically dehydrated. And many people can see an increase in energy and also perhaps lose some pounds if they will replace juices, particularly, again, industrial produced juices, with just pure water. And I like to share with people that, there's really 4 stages of water, 4 phases of water. Many people think of solid, liquid, gas, but there's really the crystalline form of water, and that is the form that is water in our bodies. It's structured. It has a different structure. And, what we want to do is work towards making sure that we're getting plenty of structured water.
Yeah.
And springs and vortexing do that, different systems like the Echo system.
A natural waterfall is structured water.
It is.
Isn't that nice?
Just sit at a creek and watch it. It's structuring, and that is the healthiest water that we can get.
True.
Yeah,
Green
absolutely.
tea?
Yeah, green tea, loaded with antioxidants. The antioxidant values in green tea are just phenomenal for us to help scavenge the free radicals.
Yep.
And, of course, coffee. While it can do more harm than good if consumed in excess, and that's the key thing with coffee. If you're going by and getting the big gulp size of coffee from one of your big stores where you don't know where the coffee beans are coming from, where they heavily sprayed, get your own coffee and make it a healthy coffee.
And grind it up at home. Once the bean is ground up in this beautiful fruit that we digest every day, it loses its impact. It also brings mold into the picture, and that's a big problem with when you buy a bag that's already ground up. Get really, dark or medium roasts are better.
Right.
And get it from a supplier that is actually organic, high in the mountain.
Because it is highly sprayed coffee. Yeah, highly sprayed. Yeah. Resveratrol is the primary ingredient in red wine. Now, quite frankly, we'd probably have to drink a lot of wine, more than we could actually drink and stand up. Even me.
Yeah. Especially you.
Yeah.
You and me. I mean, 2 glasses of wine, that's it for me. I prefer one.
Yeah, exactly. One glass of wine with food. And I think I've shared that study that, I don't remember where we saw it, that showed that, including a glass of wine with your food produced the best antioxidant because, again, these superfoods, these resveratrols, these compounds actually work best in synergy with other things that we
Especially
find
some
in the food.
healthy fats and some protein, but mostly healthy fats.
So let's go into some of the foods. Nuts, berries, and clear conscious snacks is the title.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed when I'm on this diet that I don't do well with nuts. I love nuts. I love pistachios and all the different, walnuts, everything. I love them. And I noticed that the day after, the next couple of days, I always have a little problem with my bowel movements. It doesn't get digested as much as I like to, and as much as I like to, I really have to, get nuts out of my diet for some reason, and probably because I overconsumed at
That's
one time.
the key point. So many people overconsume nuts. Nuts are meant in moderation, small
and actually
servings.
meant raw.
A lot of people have replaced their chip habits.
Yeah, with the nuts.
So they're eating a huge, big handful. That's just way too much,
And when you roast the nuts, that really makes the oils rancid.
We really want to look for raw nuts. I think maybe having a couple raw Brazil nuts a week are great because of the selenium content.
Right.
I use that for a lot of people that have thyroid issues. And I love the walnut because I think it has the best ratio of nuts with omega-3s. Those are some of my favorites.
Yeah, and put these, once you get them from the store, put them in the refrigerator because these oils in nuts get rancid very quickly. Another problem we have, of course,
Remember, they're
with omega-3s.
polyunsaturated fats.
Exactly. So,
Yeah, and we've
they're
told
much
you
more
that.
sensitive.
All those oils go rancid very easily, and they're rancid when you see them in the grocery store.
Yeah. Of course, berries of all kinds, especially the fall berries that are have that rich color. Blueberries are awesome. And notice that these things are seasonal, so you'd be eating them probably in the fall, which means maybe late August, September, October. You'd be eating these things, getting you ready for the next season. Does anybody know the season for a walnut? Most of us probably don't. You know, we have to really investigate this a little bit harder so we can actually have the nutrition at the right time of the year. And this is the basis for the Primal, the Living a Primal Lifestyle diet, is that everything you eat is seasonal. Not easy to do because you really have to find out what actually is in season.
And we have foods thrown in our face when they're not in season, but that's when we become more mindful and we do a little research and we say, what is the season of the walnut?
Yeah, and they may be coming from a different hemisphere where they're growing, you know, at a different time. I know we get a lot of things from Chile. But one thing you do need to do is get your Health Signals newsletter. It's only $5 for each issue, $10 a month. It'll get you what you need so you can investigate this stuff.
And you can pick up a bottle of our Primal Edge to make sure you're getting what you need.
Yeah, and you can do this with your Tiger Dollars, of course, and get the discount. So beware of the Tiger Dollars when they come out. It's a great treat that Tom and Tommy give us here at TFNN.com. Paige and I will be right back.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors. Join John Logan as he teaches you trading techniques utilizing the TAS Profile Scanner. The Global Market Pulse, next on TFNN.
Welcome back, folks.
Sorry.
We're jumping in here. But we're talking about the foods that you can eat that are really good for you. And, of course, healthy fats are one of those things.
Yeah, and you know what? Then there's chocolate. Dark chocolate specifically. In fact, if you eat dark chocolate, or raw cacao, which is in its form, your gut bacteria is going to break it down. and going to turn it into beneficial compounds. You know, cacao chocolate has super antioxidants and is associated with longevity.
Yeah, there's a study here. In 1999, a Harvard study of 8,000 men discovered that those who ate chocolate as many as 3 times a month lived a year longer than those who didn't.
Yeah, there you go, you know. So enjoy that chocolate, but again, it's in moderation because, again, it is calorie dense, but it's nutrient dense as well.
Yeah.
And that's what we really want to look at. Probably better to have more nutrient dense, calorie restricted foods, you know, but these little ones that are both nutrient dense and calorie rich are good.
My
every
wife
once
and
in a
I
while.
have a couple of squares of chocolate every single night.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, I don't enjoy it that much, but
It's kind of a little thing. Right after dinner, we have a little shot of maybe Primal Edge, and then we'll take that, or we'll have a little shot of some other kind of small juices.
or sometimes
like berry
you're
juice.
having your raw honey, because I know that you were using that a lot to sleep, the little teaspoon
before I
of
go to
raw honey
bed.
on your chocolate.
Ooh, that sounds pretty good. Of course, there's other great things. You know, we always talk about the wild-caught Alaskan
Yeah,
salmon.
healthy fats foods.
Yeah, and don't go for the farm
raised,
salmon.
right.
You've got to be sure that it is wild. And there are lots of things like fruits that are very beneficial in small quantities. One of the things I think the fruits that you can eat all the time pretty much is an avocado.
Well, the avocado is a wonderful fruit. And, you know, it's kind of interesting, the doctrine of signatures, the avocado is shaped very much like a woman's uterus with that big seed, and it takes exactly 9 months to make an avocado.
Really?
Isn't that kind of
I like
cool?
these correlations that you put together. That's pretty special.
I like that too. I
Little
think it makes
sniglets
it
that you
fun.
have.
My little
Yep.
sniglets, my little fun things. But yeah, the avocado is a nutrient-dense food, and it provides a filling addition to your diet. You
The
know?
other thing is coconut oil. We often hear lots of things about coconut oil, even though it may not be indigenous to your area. I do believe that coconut oil is one of those things that just about everybody can take, kind of like codfish oil, things like that. The cod liver oil, I should say.
And what I love about coconut oil is it has lauric acid, which is converted into monolaurin, and that has very powerful antiviral, antibacterial, anti-protozoa properties. So it kind of kills bugs.
Really good for the brain.
Yeah, right. Helps
And-
build new cells.
And then, of course, are the veggies that we talked about, which are like
Bring
broccoli,
on the veggies.
sprouts especially, because when you're talking about sprouts, you're really talking about things that are in a form of a seed or a bean.
It's actually the life force of that seed or bean.
Right.
As it explodes
It
with
explodes
energy.
into life, being from a dormant place into something that is life-giving.
So how much energy is in that? If that sprout is supposed to grow into a tree, there's a lot of energy when it first
Yeah,
sprouts.
exactly.
Yeah. Fermented veggies.
Well, we talk about tomatoes. Thing about tomatoes, of course, it is a nightshade. Anything on a vine may be problematic. I usually don't eat these very much, but you can use them. And the old favorite, I think, is probably cabbage for me.
Oh, yeah, and just I want to make a comment about the tomato. The lycopene is just such a powerful phytochemical. And again, that red pigment. And we're going to talk more about power of pigment. You know, my Qigong teacher has been really doing a lot of study into the power of pigment.
Okay.
So lycopene, we've got to find ways. Cooked tomatoes the best. But did you know that cabbage is actually potentially the most potent medicinal food available?
I believe it. So many cultures use this.
And cabbage soup, but I want you to, again, the doctrine of signatures. Think about a cabbage. It's layers. If you look at a cabbage, it's layers. Very similar to what our gut lining is. We have layers.
Interesting. Very
Layers.
interesting.
So, a way to heal your gut is eat your cabbage soup.
Yeah. That's it for today, folks. Boy, these times
Go have
go
a
too
great
fast.
day.
Maybe we should add a third day to this or something.
I don't know. 5 o'clock comes out early for me twice a week. But
Thanks
we
a
do
lot for
love you
sticking
guys.
around, chat room. We love you guys. Really, all your comments really mean to us. And of course, you can reach us at Nico or Paige at TFNN.com. Got any questions, or you just want to say hi, or suggestions? We'll
Have a
see
great
you,
day.
Next Tuesday.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.